Just imagine an alien civilization so advanced, yet weaker than humans. But when their spaceship lands on Earth, something amazing happens. The exciting story begins by showing a vast area in South Africa. Both the South African government and its citizens are shocked because a huge UFO is hovering above their area. This spaceship remains in one spot, and no one comes out from inside it. The South African government sends many of its soldiers to investigate, but unfortunately, they get no response from inside the spaceship. Now, the citizens and the government start to think that there must be dangerous aliens inside, who have come to attack us and wipe out humanity. However, despite many days passing, nothing comes out from the spaceship. This leaves the government confused as to why the aliens aren't attacking us. So, using multiple air forces, an attack is launched on the spaceship. Although it gets damaged, the spaceship still remains in the air. After the sighting of an alien spaceship in South Africa, governments around the world begin to connect with each other, each offering their opinions on what to do. Here, we see a large multinational company named MNU, which specializes in researching such phenomena. After extensive research, the managing directors decide to quickly investigate the spaceship, thinking that since the aliens haven't shown any activity, it might mean they are planning something, perhaps an attack on us. Within the company, there's a reporter named Vikus, who is sharing how the company is planning to infiltrate the spaceship, because this would reveal the truth about what's inside. A large team finally succeeds in getting inside the spaceship, and shockingly, they find many small aliens. Instead of attacking the humans, these aliens are running away in fear. After some research, it is discovered that the alien leaders were killed in an attack, and all the aliens follow the commands of their leaders. Due to the absence of their leaders, the aliens became extremely weak, which confirmed to humans that these aliens were even weaker than us. We could easily eliminate all of them, but we are humans, and humanity still lives within us, even towards our enemies. The government analyzed the entire structure of their spaceship and extracted the information from their systems, revealing that the aliens came to Earth to find another place to live because their planet in space was being destroyed by a black hole. That's why they came here, looking for a new place. However, the most significant issue was that during the attack, one of their spaceship's engines went missing. Until that engine was found and the spaceship repaired, these aliens wouldn't be able to leave Earth. After a lot of deliberation, the government decided that the aliens should stay in the same place on Earth until their spaceship was fixed. These decisions were made quickly, and the area directly beneath the spaceship was cleared out, which came to be known as District 9, where the aliens were kept. The aliens were taller than humans, but they were completely powerless and very fearful. They never attacked humans, which led some bad humans to start living with them in District 9. A large gang of criminals began living among these aliens, and they supported themselves in that environment. The leader of this gang wanted to seize the aliens' technology and weapons for himself. However, in exchange for this, he also tortured many aliens. The most shocking part was that the advanced alien weapons could only be operated by their own species, as the DNA of the aliens had to match for the weapons to function. This enraged the gang leader, and he began to brutally kill and even consume the aliens. The leader thought that if their DNA entered his body, he would be able to use their weapons. Unfortunately, the gang leader had not yet received any results. Meanwhile, the aliens, terrified and hungry, started coming into human-populated areas. The public became extremely scared of the aliens, but they couldn't harm them. This led to citizens in all of Africa staging protests against the government, demanding an explanation for why they made such a decision. They wanted answers and to know what the aliens were doing on Earth, insisting that they be removed as soon as possible. At this point, we see the same multinational company that specializes in finding solutions for such issues, but they were also conducting secret research on the aliens. The research was top secret, so even the government couldn't access it. This multinational company wanted to make use of the alien technology, believing that doing so would significantly boost their country's economy and establish their name worldwide. Driven by these goals, the company continued its work. The company's leadership team decided that the aliens should be relocated to a new place, a large area where they could live comfortably without disturbing humans. The task of relocating the aliens was assigned to a team, with Vikus, their reporter, made the leader of the mission. Vikus was excited about this and quickly set off with his team toward District 9. Once there, he tried to explain to the aliens that they would have to leave and move to a different place. However, many of the aliens didn't understand and became very angry. But Vikus and his team knew that these aliens couldn't attack them, they simply didn't have the courage. Vikus told them everything and insisted that they leave. In the midst of this, we are introduced to an alien named Christopher, who was a scientist among them. Christopher, along with his son and some companions, was preparing to leave the area. Christopher wanted to repair the spaceship as quickly as possible and go to another planet to settle. Due to all these reasons, Christopher and his companions were making black fuel, which would allow their species to move more easily. However, obtaining the ingredients for it was quite difficult, which is why it took them so many years to create it. But finally, they succeeded, and they were overjoyed because, with the help of their spaceship, they could now travel to another place. Living on Earth had made it clear to them that humans would never allow them to live peacefully. Christopher and his companion were extremely happy and went to tell the others about their success. However, at that very moment, Vikus and his entire team arrived at their hideout, continuing their investigation. They reached the lab where Christopher had created the black fuel. Upon seeing the lab, Vikus and his team were shocked by the experiments the aliens were conducting. After examining the entire laboratory, Vikus found the tube containing the black fuel. As he was closely inspecting it, a small amount of the fuel spilled onto his mouth. Vikus quickly wiped it off and seized the black fuel, taking it into custody. As they were leaving with the black fuel, one of Christopher's companions learned about it. After so many years of hard work, he wasn't going to let it go so easily, so he approached Vikus and his team, demanding that they give him the black fuel. Since soldiers were present, Vikus refused, and Christopher's companion then attacked them. The soldiers quickly fired and shot him dead. From a distance, Christopher watched, realizing that without the black fuel, he couldn't activate the spaceship. The black fuel was taken by the company, where further experiments were conducted. The next day, Vikus appeared, feeling unusually unwell. He felt strange inside, and the shock came when one of his nails suddenly fell off. His condition worsened so much that, when he went to the washroom, all of his nails began falling off. Suddenly, he felt incredibly dizzy. Because of his condition, Vikus went home, where his wife had organized a party to celebrate him becoming the leader of his team. However, Vikus's condition kept worsening. He started vomiting the black liquid, and within moments, he collapsed. Vikus was rushed to the hospital, and when they opened his injured arm, it had transformed into something resembling an alien hand, sharp and pointed. Upon seeing this, Vikus was in shock. Shortly after, several soldiers took Vikus for testing in the company's laboratory. There, Vikus saw that experiments were being conducted on both humans and aliens. He realized that the company, which he had always thought of as a high-tech organization, was actually trying to acquire the weapons and technology of the aliens. The company's scientists observed changes in Vikus's body and noticed that his DNA had been altered. After years of failed attempts to operate the alien weapons, they now used Vikus to activate the weapon. The shocking part was that the weapon worked perfectly, because Vikus now had the alien DNA inside him due to the black fuel. This gave hope to the scientists, as their experiments were now progressing in the right direction. They decided to conduct a deeper investigation into Vikus's body. Vikus realized that he had become nothing more than a subject for their experiments. As long as he was useful to them, they would keep him alive, but once he outlived his purpose, they would dispose of him. This realization made him furious, and he began attacking everyone. He injured all the scientists present and quickly escaped the laboratory. The next day, news about Vikus spread everywhere. People learned that he had become half-alien, and his body now resembled that of an alien. Huge bounties were placed on him, offering large sums of money to anyone who could capture him. Advertisements were everywhere, showing how Vikus was transforming into an alien. Wherever Vikus went, people recognized him and ran away in fear. A team of soldiers was after him, trying to capture him and take him back to the laboratory. Vikus, however, managed to hide and move forward, and he even called his wife, but unfortunately, she didn't believe him. Nowhere seemed safe for him, so Vikus decided to go to District 9 and stay with the aliens there. He even tried to cut off his own hand to remove the alien DNA, but it was too painful and required immense courage. However, he managed to cut off one of his fingers, and the pain was unbearable. Soon, Vikus saw several helicopters approaching, searching for him. He quickly hid in the houses where the aliens lived, eventually finding himself in front of Christopher. Seeing Vikus's condition, Christopher immediately recognized him as the reporter who had taken the black fuel. Christopher asked him where the black fuel was, but Vikus couldn't respond before he passed out. Christopher hurriedly took him to his laboratory and into the basement. When Vikus regained consciousness, he pleaded with Christopher to return him to normal because he knew the alien DNA inside him was irreversible. Christopher assured him that he knew how to fix it, but first, he needed the black fuel. Vikus explained that the black fuel was with the company, and retrieving it from their laboratory would be very difficult due to high security. Christopher told Vikus that the only way to cure him was with the black fuel. So, they made a deal. Once they got the black fuel, Christopher would fix Vikus. But first, they would need weapons, so Christopher took Vikus to the gangsters who had alien weapons. The leader of the gangsters recognized Vikus, as he now carried the alien DNA within him. That's why the gang leader decided that he would cut off Vikus's hand and eat it, so that he could absorb the DNA and gain its power. The gang members made multiple attempts to kill Vikus, but he grabbed an alien weapon lying on the side and started firing. The weapons were so advanced that in one shot, they wiped out several groups of gangsters. With Christopher's help, Vikus gathered more weapons and went back to the company's headquarters to get the black fuel. Because they had the weapons, no one dared to stop them. The alien technology was so advanced that with just 2 weapons, they caused massive destruction in the company. Vikus went straight to get the black fuel. Christopher was shocked by what he saw in the laboratory, but he didn't think much about it and quickly returned to District 9 with Vikus. With the black fuel in hand, Christopher tried to repair his spaceship. However, Vikus reminded him that, as per their agreement, he had to be fixed first. But Christopher replied that it was humans like him who were endangering his species. He had seen the dead bodies of his companions at the company, where different experiments had been conducted on them. So, first, Christopher would focus on saving his species and then fix Vikus. Vikus was furious about this and attacked Christopher with a piece of wood. After that, he took the black fuel and left. He went to a small alien and started talking to him. When Christopher regained consciousness, he saw that several soldiers had already arrived and were mercilessly killing all the aliens in sight. They were causing chaos everywhere. Meanwhile, in the basement, Vikus successfully managed to fix the engine with the help of the small alien. He quickly powered it up to connect it to the spaceship and fix it. However, several missiles were fired at him by the company, damaging the engine. It fell down to the ground, failing to work as expected. Now, what happened was that many gang members from District 9 captured Vikus and took him into their custody. The gang leader was about to say, "Now, I will kill you," but suddenly, a huge robot arrived. This robot was being controlled by the small alien who had now transferred Vikus into it. In other words, Vikus was now controlling the robot as it moved forward. Vikus killed all the soldiers and gang members, and the bullets had no effect on him. Vikus kept saying, "I haven't done anything to you all, why are you considering me your enemy?" Everyone stopped in their tracks, staring at Vikus's robot. Vikus started to leave, but on the other side, soldiers had captured Christopher and were interrogating him for his plans. Christopher was badly injured, and they were about to kill him when Vikus didn't run away. Instead, using his robot, he saved Christopher and took him away. Vikus told Christopher, "I will handle these people, you go start the engine and take the spaceship from here." Although Christopher was reluctant to leave Vikus alone, Vikus explained that they had worked hard to come this far, and the survival of his civilization was the most important. Christopher was very sad, but he promised to return. Christopher quickly entered the engine room, started the engine, and entered the spaceship, ready to head into the depths of space. Meanwhile, Vikus's robot was being fired upon with multiple shots but was still intact. Several soldiers tried to kill Vikus, but the aliens in District 9 stopped them and saved Vikus. All the aliens then returned to their spaceships, which took off and headed directly into space. A few months later, everyone was talking about Vikus, who had now fully turned into an alien species. He was still in District 9, waiting for Christopher to return and make him human again. And thus, the story ended.